Hello and welcome to the Evercade Retreat. Gene Joke here, and today I'm bringing you a review and ranking of Xevious for the NES as found on the Namco Collection 1 for the Evercade. And naturally I'll be adding it to my ever-growing list where I try and rank every game on the Evercade. Xevious was originally released in the arcade by Namco in 1982. It was released for the NES in 1988. Even though it came out a fair few years later, it still had to have a few compromises made to convert it from the arcade. The graphics are simplified, although they do retain the same vague feel, and the aspect ratio has been changed from a vertical aspect ratio to using the full screen that the NES would use, although this doesn't really seem to impact the gameplay much at all, or at least not that I recall. It has been a long time since I played the arcade original though. Naturally, being an NES port, it does suffer a little bit of sprite flicker, but it's quite minimal and doesn't really affect the gameplay. The sounds have been recreated fairly faithfully, although really the NES could probably have done better on the music front. As I understand it, Xevious was fairly groundbreaking at the time, introducing two-way firing, allowing you to shoot aerial targets with your main weapon and using bombs to attack the enemies below. Although this is a gameplay style that's been used in many games since, I believe Xevious was the first vertically scrolling shoot 'em up to use it. But don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely sure. And I'm also very sure that Scramble came out before this, but that's not vertical. Naturally, that's based upon the arcade release, and coming out on the NES some years later, well, I'd imagine by then it probably felt a little bit dated. But as I understand it, it was originally released for the Famicom in Japan in 1984, but took a while to make it to the United States and I assume the rest of the world. While looking this stuff up, I found a few mildly interesting facts. One, the ship you control, the Solvalu, was based upon the design of the Nostromo from Alien, and also earlier in development the game was going to be set during the Vietnam War where you controlled a helicopter, but obviously was changed to a more sci-fi setting later in development. Oh, and for anyone who calls it Xevious, apparently the original name for it was Xevious with a Z, but it was changed to an X to make it sound more exotic. Anyway, for my feelings on the game, it's a game I've been familiar with for years. I enjoyed it when I was younger, but to be perfectly honest, playing it now, it doesn't grab me like it once did. The gameplay's still solid enough, the sound isn't the best and can be a little bit annoying, but yeah, the game is fine, and there's no denying that it was a classic at the time, but it's really not one I find myself coming back to very often. To place it in my overall ranking list of every Evercade game ever, I would have to place it above Worms Blast, but below Windjammers. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting or informative and generally not too boring. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.